All right, next up, I'm looking to install a 12 volt outlet on the side of this panel here. What I want to use it for, and I just want to get a regular cigarette lighter outlet because it's the most versatile. Could use it to charge cell phones with the USB adapter just plugged in. I could plug in a 12 volt fan if I wanted. It will come in handy for charging devices, and my wife is going to use her laptop here on the boat, and I don't have to run the generator just to charge a laptop. Could use a small inverter and charge laptops. So while we're underway, that's the plan with that. So I'm going to get access behind this panel here. You got to be careful if you're going behind some of these panels are 120 volts, so be very careful. So we'll probably tap into one of these circuit breakers up here on the 12 volt side, and we'll just run it down through the panel and just drill a small hole there for the 12 volt outlet. And here we go. So here's our outlet we're going to install. It's just a typical cigarette lighter plug. It's got spade lugs on the back. We're going to crimp our wires onto these connectors. Make sure you have the right polarity. The center is positive. And then the negative is on the ring on the inside. So this is a Sea-Dog nylon brass power socket. And it's rated at 16 amps. Alright, so that gets us access back here. Lots of room to work. Should be fairly simple to install that outlet. Just move this stuff out of the way. Well, we have a spare right here for the 12 volt. And we're going to use this for that outlet. So the spare is the second one down right here. This one's labeled spare, but it says cabin heat. So what's interesting with that is we don't have cabin heat, so this wire is run to where the cabin heat would be inside the boat, and it was an option for this style boat. And I'll bring you to where the cabin heat is. The cabin heat would be here in the stairs. If you have the option, there would be a vent here and a blower that uses heat from the engine. Antifreeze would flow through it, and the heater would blow heat into the cabin here. So we don't have that option. All right, so I'm going to remove that wire. Shut that down, make sure we don't go power through it. And this is the wire right here. Just got to be careful with everything else in here. You don't want to disconnect anything, short anything out. It's a little tight to work in. It's probably best to just shut the main power down to this as you're plugging around it. So you know what, I'm going to do that. All right, so DC mains are off. I should have did that at the beginning before I started. You don't want to drop a screw and then short something out. Okay, we'll just bend this wire back, and tape it off. And we may use it in the future if we ever need a wire run to that portion of the bilge or the boat. We'll just pull it back, tape it off for safekeeping like these other ones back here. And we'll use that spare breaker for the the outlet. There's a real handle, and I think I may have to remove the door here. Those brackets are in the way. Let's see if we could just swing it along the side here. Don't think it's going to work. Oh wow, look at this. It's amazing what you find and what they design into these boats. I didn't even realize this, but apparently, look at this. Unreal. They got some sort of latch mechanism here, so you could open this panel up. One side pulls easily. Let's see how the other side goes. Oh, look at this. Meridian owners are going to love this. So this just pulls out using those regular latches that are all over the boat. That's pretty neat. Huh. Nice. Thank you, Meridian. Huh. Pretty neat. You see the little notes from the builders. 341-72 ACDC. Stain both sides. So we're talking about these panels. That's pretty neat. A little like going back in history. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws that got to be removed to get this panel out. And let's see. This is the tough part. All right, these are all the heavy-duty cables that are providing power to the whole boat and from the batteries. So you want to make sure you don't break any of those off or kink them. You got some slack to pull about the panel out. But then what we were looking for is way there in the back. Those yellow wires going to the bus bars. That's the negative side of the battery, and that's what we need to run our yellow negative wire down from the outlet to. So that's what we did all this work for. I'll just show you where we're going. There's the bus bar. I'm going to tap into one of those screws there and put a new lead. Some spares. There's a spare right there, but you could double them up. There's some doubled up over there. So we're going to be mounting that hole, drilling that hole right there about. It's right above the countertop from this table. But there's already some convenient holes that are drilled in it. One's here, it goes down below. And then there's one right here in the corner, which I think I'm going to use that one. That brings me very close. Let's see. You can see it hanging down there. So I'm going to bring it down in that hole, keep it out of the way, and bring it over to one of those bus bars. Only a foot or so away. All right, we'll need to put one of these ring terminals on here so that we could just screw it on to the existing bus bar. You need arms that are 6 feet long for this. Try to do it without dropping the screw. Okay, it took some doing, but I got it on there. You really got to work by just feeling it, because you got to reach your arm all the way in there. It's tough to get a hold of things. So I got it doubled up with another negative, and I'm just going to tie wrap the wire off to keep it from moving around in there, but we should be fine. Okay, we're going to hook up our positive side. Now remember, all the power is off on this, so we don't have to worry about shorting anything out. The most difficult part is dropping the screw like that. Let's try this again. Okay, now let's snake this wire through the bundles and get it down to the outlet. Okay, we got the positive side hooked up. Here it is. I found you got the cable raceway here in the back, and I sort of just dropped it along the other wires, and it dropped down from this hole here. I'm gonna tie wrap it, secure it right in this spot here, so you don't have any pull on the wire, and it came down with the rest of the wires over here in the back. So I'll tidy it up with a couple of tie wraps and bring it around to where we're going to drill the outlet. That's coming up next. Okay, so we're getting ready to drill the hole for the outlet. I'm going to look to mount it right around here. So put it like this. And there's the back side. I'm just going to make sure we're far enough below the remote control for the radio there. We should be good. Put a piece of painter's tape there to just help protect the surface before we drill. I just love drilling holes in the boat, don't you? Okay, here she goes. All right, yellow is negative, red is positive. Positive goes to the middle, yellow negative goes to the ring. And a couple oval head screws to mount this. Let's get it in its final spot here. Here we go. Alright, we're all dressed up on the inside. Leave a little bit of slack so I don't have to open up this whole panel if I have to replace that plug. But looking pretty neat. Now it's time to close up this mess. Well, before we close it up, why don't we test it out? So I turned on all the power. And a little 12-volt fan. Nice. All right, we're cooking with gas or battery.